Hey guys, thank you for joining me today. As above, so below, we're talking about um sun energy robot. I've been drinking this wormwood and the black walnut, so it got my teeth a little brown. So excuse me. To each and every one of you guys, salutations to my Madrina, to my Vadrino, to my Oba, and to all of my brothers and sisters in E5 Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, and Palo. My name is Apostle Ely. I am the pastor and apostle of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated. Thank you for joining me. I'm here for melanated people. I want to say thank you to all of my air signs, fire signs, earth signs, and water signs. I want to come on here because I want to share some things with my fellow practitioners and people of melanated estate. I want to say thank you so much for the level of support. I really discussed something today in service, and I want you guys to thank you so much, Celestial Conjure. Thank you for the likes and the love and the shares. And what I'm about to share today, I want to, especially we're in the season of Gemini, in the season of information. We're in the age of Aquarius, which has to do with technology. And I want my spiritualists, root workers, conjurers, mystic, ajays, anybody of that works with melanated energy to be alert about this. And I want to talk about don't be distracted. And we always like to start out with a definition, because when it comes to conjure, it doesn't matter. I believe in the universal law, so it doesn't matter if you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced, or you're a type of individual that that's on the fence about spirituality, especially melanated magic. We like to say black magic. Excuse my teeth. I just took some wormwood and some black walnut, so my teeth is a little brown. It kind of stains, so I had to brush my teeth, but I could not do this live. I want to say this: don't be distracted in this ATRs. Don't be distracted in the church. Don't be distracted in these spiritual streets. I'm a Sagittarius, Moon and Aries, and Rising signs Pisces. I just got come from church. And distraction means a thing to prevent someone from giving full attention to something else. When you give somebody a piece of your mind, you're still distracted. Extreme agitations of mind and emotions. What we got to stop falling in the trap of being distracted. I don't care what length of time. I don't care if you got back on topic just like I do. You still was distracted. You were not giving your full attention to the energy of your subject matter or your work. So what I want to say, first of all, we are not going to be distracted concerning stuff we already know. Melanated people, things that have been going on, we peeped the game, we discern, we have observed the obvious. No matter the lies, no matter the deceptions, we don't want to be distracted by things we already know the truth to. Do not give your mental mind, your Christ consciousness or energy, because wherever you focus at, that's where your energy goes. There are some people very crafty to take your attention. They don't have to take all of your attention. They need just to take some of your attention, because you're not fully engaged in your magic. You're not fully engaged. You're not fully present. Anybody that practice real magic know what I'm talking about. Your mind is not fully there. The Bible says with your whole mind, your whole soul, with your whole spirit, that means all of you, every aspect of you are in alignment to manifest a subject matter or a expected end. There are going to be things that people are going to come up with and it's half true. You know the story from beginning to end. You don't need to be distracted by that. If you already know that he or she is not being truthful, don't give your attention. That is a distraction, because the purpose of a distraction is to get you from being fully engaged in what you're doing in order to give them some of your attention. And any form of that is still work. I'm going to say that again. Melanated people already know the facts about history concerning this country. We understand that our melanin allows us to tap into Mother Earth. We understand that it allows us to tap into the universe. We understand that our melanin is a part of our creativity and our intellect. We understand that melanin makes us gods and goddesses, and that we harness the sun's energy, the moon energy, or any other energy that we choose to tap into. We know this. Somebody calling you a demon is a distraction. Somebody challenging your beliefs is a distraction. You know why you're doing what you're doing. You know who you're calling upon. You know how many people you have helped and assisted. You know that greater things are yet to come for your life. So let's not be distracted. You got your conjure to be focused on. You got your elevations and evolutions to be focused on. Melanated people, we don't have time to be distracted, especially about things that we already know the truth of. Always remember this. If they got you focused on what they need to focus on, that's something that Donald Trump is very crafty and masterful. The art of creating distractions. Because we don't need, as melanated people, we don't need to allow what is truly important for our highest good, for it to take our focus off on what's really important, that we evolve and advance in our spirituality like never before. This is very important, that you take out the time to acknowledge who you are and what you are, and that you're not allowing yourself to be distracted or your full attention coming off your manifestation. If you focus on getting a physical healing or a spiritual healing, that's where your attention need to be. If you focus on getting your bag and getting your money right, keep it there. And only entertain people or give people your attention when it is the subject matter of your manifestation. I'm going to say this again. If you are trying to do protection work and somebody is talking in terms of giving you more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding concerning that protection work, that needs to have your attention. If they're talking about something that is appealing or relevant to your short-term goal or your long-term goal, that's where you need to give your attention. Everybody in a different phase. And one thing about the energy of Gemini will flood the zones with a multiple of thoughts and a multiple of mindsets. And you are at the crossroad of thought, have to understand, you determine what your mind directs. You determine what subject matter that is talking to you that is relevant to the state of your mind. And you need to give that your attention, your full attention unto that thing. We are going to experience some great and mighty moves spiritually in the melanated community, because more people are gaining wisdom, knowledge, and understanding from our collective consciousness. And this is the time in the season of Gemini that whatever information is pertinent, necessary, essential for your growth and elevation, whatever your ancestors are telling you, you're gonna need to give your full attention to that information, to that word, to that scripture, to that particular working, being a part. Paul said it like this in the scripture: be around those of like-minded people that put their spirituality first. People that understand the currency that is necessary for them to evolve and to manifest. These are the people, these are the individuals that you need to be giving your full attention to. If it is not resonating with you, you don't need to be distracted. I don't care if they even talking some good talk. Oh, our psychic beginners. I got 2 classes that you can purchase. Beginner's class is my conjure class and my psychic class. Anybody that have been in my classes, they know I show out, and I don't just get information. I teach and show and display and interact with that particular subject matter. I want y'all to understand that it is important to your manifestation and well-being that we understand the Christ mind, the Christ consciousness, to understand, especially if you're in Christianity, let this mind be in you that was also in Christ Jesus. His mind was on pleasing the Father. Your mind should be on pleasing your ancestor, because your ancestor gonna look out for you. Your mind should not be distracted by competition, or who's in front of you, or who's in back of you. And D chosen one. Let me say something about, concerning this. We have power within, correct? But that power can be manipulated based on who we give our attention to, who we give levels of importance. And that energy, instead of manifesting for you, your kingdom is within. Instead of that kingdom working for you and your outcome, you have given some of your attention. Because you know, us melanated people like to say, I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. The longer you take to give a piece of your mind, the further you are away from manifesting what is needful in your life. Learn to prioritize. Learn to have a awareness that you don't want to be distracted. A Tuesday and Saturday UPS out what? All you got to do is go to my website and then get the classes. I'll make sure you get it. I normally do it on Saturday, but depending on how many people hurry in and get the classes, if you really want it, it'll be given. I want y'all to hear me. It says extreme agitation of the mind and the emotions. Air element to disrupt your mind. Water element to disrupt your vibe or your currency. And I need you to understand this. as I share this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Distractions are never for your best interest. I don't care if it's husband, I don't care if it's wife, I don't care if it's family, I don't care if it's people in your elay, I don't care if you're elder. Distractions are never for your benefit. It's always to offset your energy, which is your atmosphere, air element. It always is to upset yourself emotionally, because your heart is supposed to be fixed, trusting in your God, your Lord, your goddess, or your ancestor, however you roll. What's up, Miss Whitney? That's my fellow Sagittarius. These are the things that we have to master, because melanated people are easily distracted. I didn't say it's hard for melanated people to be distracted. I said it's very easy. Let me explain. When somebody knows they've done something to you, whether they apologize or not, they already know. You already know. As a grown man and a grown woman, you need to make up your mind what you want to do about it. Once you made up your mind what you want to do about it, you consider the cost, you counted up the cost, then you need to move in that mindset. You need to be totally focused and allow your energy to move behind your mindset or your thoughts regarding that situation. And you will end up where you need to be. The reason why some of you are not successful when it comes to breakup work, because you are back and forth. I want him, I don't want him. I ain't got to have him, but I need him. Vice versa. Gay straight or bi. Your mind has to be fully persuaded. Before you manifest, before you take on the work, to all of my spiritualists, your mind need to be geared. When I go after a court case, I don't care what the verdict is. If I haven't received the outcome that I desire, I keep working. I don't care how many doctors report that come. I'm not distracted by the reports unless it lines up with my expected end. A lot of times things fail because your mind is not fully persuaded. You don't have enough evidence. You don't have enough facts to convince your mind that you're supposed to be the head and not the tail. You still got a case pending because you look at your family and where you come from, and so therefore being the head and not the tail, you got too many evidence on your case to have your mind wavering. Once I hear God say you're gonna overcome, that it's a wrap. All that in between, when he said to David, thou shalt not only pursue, listen at these instructions. David went and got the ephod. He took off the hat of the king and the warrior and put on the ephod, which is the mediator between God and the divine and man. Once he got his answer to his question, this is David's mindset. Not only shall God say for me to pursue, he said I shall recover all. And he allowed me to understand that I still had to go fight for my stuff. Just because you get an answer from your ancestors don't mean you got to still fight for what is promised to you. Too many of you all get to the promised land, and because of the giants, your mind wasn't fully made up before you started on that journey. You let the distractions of the giants and Canaan, your promise, the land that God has given you. Come on here, somebody. You let that distract you. I don't do that. Good greetings, Empress. When you have the mindset and you have the information through Gemini, you have the thought. With Gemini, you got to be able to choose life or death. Gemini represents the hemisphere of the left brain and the right brain. You halted between two opinions. You trying to figure out, are you going to try to solve this logically? And you going to reason your way out, talk your way out? Or you going to try to solve this with your right hemisphere, through your intuition, through spirituality? Nobody can make up your mind. No amount of talking to anybody is going to help you solidify your train of thought. You got to choose blessing or cursing. Because there's information out there if you choose one way or the other. There's always information out there in the world of thought. You got to choose. What type of mind? Are you going to be spiritually minded or carnally minded? Do you want to manifest through natural means? Or do you want to manifest through spiritual means? You can't stay halted between. Do you want medical advice or do you want spiritual advice? Do you want to be healed through pills or potions? Nobody can make up your mind. Do you want a psychic reading or do you want a shadow reading? See, you end up at the threshold of different people and things and places because of your mindset. And when you don't know what you want, your mind can be distracted by the shiny things. You can be listening to somebody. I remember my spiritual dad was teaching me some stuff about finances, and he was teaching me about conjure and blah, blah, blah. And at the time, because I was 13 years old, I was not in the position to implement or execute majority of the things he was talking to me about. But he planted that mental seed in me. See, it matters who has your ear, Gemini. A Gemini mind can be persuaded depending on who's talking to them. I'm going to say that again. A Gemini's mind can be influenced. So we have to be concerned about the people that have our ear. In the spiritual walk, I would never teach you how to be a victim, even though you may be victimized. Because my mindset is I'm more than a conqueror. My mindset is where there's a will, there's a way. My mindset is that this too shall pass. My mindset is I shall recover all. And I don't mind pursuing. If I got to leave my father's land to get the greatness of the name that was promised me. See, Abraham had to make up his mind because his promise was not in his father's land. The fulfillment of prophecy, the fulfillment of and the fruition of something coming to pass, a lot of times you got to pursue. You have to move. And too many melanated people. See, let me tell you something. A fisherman, male or female. My father was a professional fisherman, among other things. And depending what he was fishing for, he got different rods. He got different. If you were fishing for sharks, sailfish. See, you got to know what you're fishing for. You got to know the weight. Says there's certain lines out there because you going after some big fish, they're going to pop. You got to know that that particular fish is smart. It has its own intelligence. What you're going out can run from you. But if God purposed for it, it won't outrun you. It can run from you, but it won't outrun you. So my father would get certain, depending on what he was fishing for, he would get certain poles or reeling rods. And one thing I understood about my father, I'm taller than my father, bigger than my father. He was a little man. And he was catching fish and sharks and all. I mean, he was talented. See, it's not your height or your stature that keeps you from apprehending. It's your lack of understanding what you up against. My father knew that he had to anchor that depending on the weight of what he caught. Sometimes you got to anchor it in the rock. And he always fished on the inlet. So he knew if he caught a fish that was that strong, he used the environment. He used what was around him to give him extra strength. When we are conjurers, we can pull on anything to give us extra strength. When you know what you're doing, when you know what you're hunting for, when you know what you're fishing for, your mind is made up. And he didn't care how long he had to be out there. Some of y'all want to manifest and you care about time. Baby, when you trying to get your healing, you don't care how it comes, long as it comes. When you trying to get your deliverance, you don't care how it get there, long as you are delivered from your affliction. Some of y'all done put a time limit on your ancestors, a time limit on the divine. And if you don't catch none by a certain time, you packing up. You leaving Ifa because it don't work. You leaving voodoo because it don't work. You're leaving Palo because it don't work. No, you ain't give it time. You came in there looking at a professional as a beginner. And you think you're going to manifest like they are. Because they done built relationship. They gonna have experiences. They realized my dad knew that if he caught that shark had the ability to pull him in our water. So he had to gird himself. He had to make sure he was in position if he had to chase that fish down. Because sometimes you got to pull that fishing rod in, and sometimes you got to release that line. You got to do that whole process again of reeling them in. I'm trying to help you understand the mind of Christ that's within you. Your higher self. How your higher self thinks. How your higher self comes up with conclusions and ideas. The old people used to say, I should have followed my first mind. Don't be distracted. If you're trying to catch that fish, and let me tell you something about other spiritualists, just like other fishermen. When you see your brother and sister got something on the hook, the first thing you should do, like fishermen, they start pulling their hooks down because they don't want you to lose your catch. See, people that want to see you win in the spiritual community and the spiritual streets, if they have to get out the way for you to come through, to keep your fish on the line, that's just what your brother and sister gonna do. Huh? They gonna make sure they line and your line don't get crossed. Because they ain't got nothing on the line. So they'll start reeling they stuff in to make sure you can keep what you done caught on your line. Talk to me today. You ain't got to be a Christian. You ain't got to be a practitioner of voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi. We all have that higher mind. Melanated people, I urge you, sir. I urge you, ma'am. This is not the season to be distracted by information that do not concern you. This is not the season to be listening at something that is not relevant to your manifestation. Right now, we need to be focused. Right now, we need your full, undivided attention. We need you to be the root worker you were designed to be. We need you to be the conjurer you were designed to be. We need you to practice your magic at a whole nother level. And the only way you're going to be able to do that, if you're fully mentally engaged, fully emotionally engaged. It's all about the melanin. You can be distracted by money, sex, and anything else. Hey, God's elect. Are you hearing me? This is why we have to be concerned about what type of information is influencing our mind. Because everybody is not here for you to break out of the matrix. And when I say matrix, what has encapsulated us. We can transcend, be above and beyond anything that these people have created for us. But we cannot do it alone, and we cannot do it if you are easily distracted. We need all your mental energy. We need you to be fully engaged in your business, your prosperity, your success. We need you to be emotionally fully engaged. We need you to be at peace when you're doing our conjuring. We need you to be in a happy mode when you're doing our love work. We need you to be in a vibration of abundance when you're doing our money work. We need you fully engaged. We don't need you distracted. And we're going to help each other stay focused. Get your head back in the game. I know you got hit. I know you got tackled. But get your head back in the game. That's why the scripture said, no man can even receive the kingdom of God except he or she deny self, deny mama, family, all of these are distractions. And a lot of distractions, they don't even want nothing. They don't even want nothing. They just want your attention. Baby, that's a distraction all by itself. You could have been concentrating, fully engaged in your prayer, your manifestation, but you got distracted because it's a loved one. Them the main people that will take your attention away from what you're doing for nothing. Just because you mama, just because you daddy, just because you brother, just because you sister. They don't even want nothing. You was in your meditation about to see something that was gonna change your life. And you because that your mama, your sister, family, a loved one, and you answered that phone and broke that connection to find out they didn't even really want nothing. And had the nerve talking about something. What you doing? Don't get mad at them. Don't get mad at them, because you need to understand when you can give your full attention to something. That's why we got times, dates, and hours. When we can meditate, when we can be fully engaged in our prayer. You don't do things that are sacred and necessary around a bunch of distraction or people that can easily be used to distract you. Because magic is about where your focus is. And depending on how focused you are, depends on how strong or weak your manifestation gonna be. You're not doing this for Apostle Ely. I gotta make sure my mind is fully persuaded. You need to do exercises that you will learn that it is necessary that you don't be easily distracted. Whether it is mentally distracted, whether it's emotionally, or both. Thank you so much for the likes. I appreciate that. Melanated people, I'm sharing. I've been doing magic since I was a child. My mom said 3 to 4 years old. I'm 52. I have practiced in some of the most darkest forms of magic. I had to because of what my family was doing. We had a lot of court cases we had to win. A lot of guilty people needed to be set free as though they were innocent, if you catch my drift. So I've been doing all types of magic all my days. I'm gonna say this. We need to understand why we can't carry a thought, a stream of thought, a frequency of thought, and see it from one destination of beginning to the destination of finish. The average person is not fully mentally engaged, and you're trying to work melanin magic. You're trying to do warfare and you're not fully engaged. I'm talking to Melanin. I've been doing this a long time. I know you're not fully engaged. And you don't have the necessary knowledge or the training to perfect your gift, your talent, and your skill. Keep out here trying to learn profound. I did not learn my magic. I was chosen. All that stuff y'all would be saying. But I still got cultivated. I got groomed. And your training will rescue you. Your training will keep you consistent. You got to hit that shot just like you're playing tennis. You got to hit that shot just like you were if you was under pressure or if you wasn't under pressure. You had to practice, make perfect. This is why we do rituals. When we do rituals, it's a skill set that we do over and over until we perfect it. Notice when every time you do that ritual, you get more and more confident. So that means you're understanding that ritual and what it has capability of doing more and more. You go from faith, to glory to glory. The mindset of most melanated people need to understand this. You have to be a seeker of the truth. And all this mindset, I don't want nobody to tell me what to do, then you're closing your own third eye off to other suggestions, other higher spirits that can guide your mind. You're supposed to be an oracle. You're supposed to be a medium. You're supposed to be a vessel that the spirit moves and channels through. How can you successfully manifest for people, places, and things when your mind is closed off? You don't believe that your personal prejudice is going to interfere in the flow of your energy when it comes down to helping people. Thank you. What's up, Jeremy? Salutation. When it comes down to, I'm in my backyard. When it comes down to manifestation, I'm a big component in coming up with a plan for the plan. For the plan, I raised by a Virgo. And she didn't play. You can't come there and bring her idea and ain't got a plan of how this is going to actually manifest. Some of y'all trying to do magic and you don't understand how the universe works, how energy works, how the spirits work behind the scene. Some spirits have to travel because every spirit that we call upon or have access to does not live in the earth realm. Our ancestors are in the astral realm. This is why we give them veneration or energy or offerings, because they have to travel back to the three-dimensional, and it takes a lot of energy. This is why people should understand that everybody here on earth is a powerful soul, because it takes a lot of power to anchor yourself in this 3D world. Apostle is a dangerous. Once again, a distraction. Always remember this. Study your history so you don't have to be distracted. When people use certain terminology like demon, you know they're ignorant. When it comes to the universal laws and African sciences, there's no such thing as demon. This was the minimal mindset of Europeans when they saw African people manifesting their magic. So when you perpetuate those terms and terminologies, we understand that you're in a state of ignorance, lack of knowledge. Because a wise man or wise woman wouldn't say such things, because they know better. And nobody comes off foolishly or ignorantly on purpose. Ache. That's what I mean. They cannot get our attention. The obvious ignorance should not be getting our attention. And we need to be more mentally alert, emotionally intelligent to decipher who's trying to sip our energy, our frequency, our vibration, so we can get our manifestation. Let me tell y'all something. June the 5th, the sun is going to be radiating at a high that it hasn't been in a long time. Melanated people capitalize on that solar energy. I'm going to say it again. Let's not be distracted. Our time is come. That whole regime is done. It's collapsing. It's going to fall. And we need the light energy, which is intelligence. Light energy is intellect, enlightenment. And we need to be strengthened in our solar plexus. Like the Bible said, from our belly shall flow the rivers of living water. The lake of fire is within your solar plexus. It will purify. It will get rid of whatever is coming against you. If you strengthen your inner man. I had to put that in there because us melanated people, and we got the power and jurisdiction on everything. And that, sir, ma'am, it's simply not true. It's we got measures of frequency, vibration, and energy. And you have agreed, your soul agreed to operate on the timeline. And it also agreed to come down there through whether you manifest it as a Capricorn, a Leo, a Sagittarius, a Gemini. You agreed to that. Don't forget your universal laws. I want to encourage many of you guys, if you want to follow me and get a deeper version of who I really am, it's on my YouTube account. My real followers, my real supporters, that's where they're at. I'm trying to awaken as many melanated people as I can. If you're not willing to invest in your spirituality and making sure you're getting what you need to learn and being elevated by people that actually have higher levels of frequency than you do, and it's going to be obvious. I'm not talking about because somebody got a title. I'm not talking about because somebody got elekes on, or because somebody nice looking or fine, or whatever y'all like to get into. The energy around that man or woman gonna automatically elevate you. My tennis coach told me this. He said, Sam, never play somebody on your level or beneath your skill set. Always play people that are better than you, because that's the only way you're going to develop. Playing somebody you equal to, you can't help. You broke, he broke. Y'all can't help each other. And you don't want to play, be around somebody talking to you about abundance, and they only make $1 or 45 cents more than you make. They're in the same bracket. I need that energy to where I'm going. I've been making over $100,000 for many years. I'm headed to millionaire status. Mindset got to change. You can't say you want a different in your life and you keeping the same mindset. Even if you doing good, you can be doing better. Even if you got clientele, you can have a better quality of clientele. Instead of having to do 400 readings, you can have one client that take care of everything. And they're not even a troublesome person. And you don't have to do much for them. But they financially in a position. I used to tell my member of the church, God gonna bring me my one-legged cat. Because it don't take but one person to do what God has called them to do. It didn't take but one widow to feed Elijah. Y'all think it take a multi? It don't take but one person to obey God one time. When you in alignment and your mind is in the right place and your emotions are flowing, your vibe is flowing, you're gonna manifest. You are going to manifest. But the truth is, the average person is easily distracted. That's why we get other people to do our conjure. Because you're paying them so they can be focused on that particular situation. Because you already know how you are. You all over the place. Your feelings all over the place and your mind is all over the place. You can't manifest like that. I don't care what you're trying to practice. One minute you believe God. The next minute you feel forsaken by God. And y'all know it ain't just people in the church. It's a lot of people in these ATRs that got that same mentality. Thank you for giving me your attention. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to share my knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. My name is Apostle Ely. I am a Sagittarius, Moon in Aries, and rising sign Pisces. And my thing to melanated people, I'm trying to enlighten you on where we at. So if you wasn't conscious or wasn't giving attention to it, and it definitely, if you practice Melanated Magic, June the 5th is going to be very significant to us and our evolution. Get as much of that sun. It's easy for me to say now because I'm retired from UPS. But get you some sunshine, or get you a crystal that can receive those rays, because you're gonna need that. You're gonna need that. When June the 5th get here, I'm gonna have all 4 of my huge crystals. I'm gonna show you. See that crystal right there? See the size of that crystal? I got 4 of them for the 4 corners of my house. And they will all be getting juice from that sun. And the reason why that is important, my brothers and sisters, because you don't have the tools that the other spirituals have. Ukraine could have had all the heart in the world to fight, but you still need instruments. That's why the United Nations was so important. America was so important and pivotal to them going as far as they have gone. You don't have certain tools. You're not in certain economic statuses. You are not initiating certain practices. You don't know what these people have out there. And your prayer oil and your belief that no weapon formed against you can't prosper, that ain't gonna help, baby. Not when these tools are being utilized to lay that timber. That's my moringa tree. I got shungite in my moringa tree. When I say I tree, I got shungite in my moringa tree. When I say I'm gonna defeat sickness and plan, my mom. I'm gonna get off here because I done been at church all day and I still gotta go to the ocean tonight. All right, God bless. Appreciate you.